how can you connect and communicate with your spirit guides? This is a question that's actually come up a lot in readings lately, and something that I want to talk about. So when it comes to connection, there isn't really anything that you have to do to connect to your spirit guides, because you're always connected to them. That is, the purpose that they serve in your life, to help you navigate this human experience. So if you want to develop or strengthen your relationship with them, that's something you can do. So I would start by, being intentional about it. So, I guess what's important as well, I want to start with saying is, don't get too hung up on needing to see them or needing to know their name or who they are. Obviously, at certain points in the journey, you can do that, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But that isn't actually what's important. What's important is trusting their presence in your life and trusting their guidance. So if you really want to strengthen your connection with your spirit guides, something that I like to do and that I've done in my own life is, like I said, starting off with being intentional about it. And then, as you all know, I love meditation. So sitting in meditation and asking my spirit guides to come in, asking them, to show me or give me a calling card. And what that means, I guess, in the spiritual community is a way for you to know that they're there with you, either by feeling their presence or them showing you clairvoyantly a certain symbol, or you get a shiver up your spine, or some type of way, or even just a knowing, some type of way that you know that they're with you. And, if you want to ask them at this point for, you got a question for them, or you want to ask their guidance. For me, sometimes the answer comes through while I'm meditating, or sometimes it actually comes through after, because they want to show me the answer in a different way, either through someone else telling me something I see as I go about my day, or a realization that I have much later. I mean, it's not probably necessarily a realization, it's more so that they've dropped information into my brain. But, be open to different ways of them communicating with you. Something that I've learned, which I've also found really, really helpful when it comes to strengthening your own connection with your spirit team or with a specific spirit guide, is what you can do. Basically, I go to a mediumship circle, and what the facilitator gets us to do is sit in a meditation, and then while we're meditating, ask our spirit guide or spirit team to come in. And then once we've felt their presence, once we've recognized or have an awareness that they're with us, then you can ask them to step close to you so that you can actually feel their presence with you. And then what you can do is ask them to step back. So that would give you an understanding of what it feels like when they're with you. So you're first calling them in and you're feeling their presence. And then you're asking them to step back. Not to leave, but just to step back a few meters or a few steps behind you, for example. And then again, ask them to step forward. And what it starts to give you an understanding of is, what do you feel like when you have them close with you? And what does it feel like when they're not with you and when they're a few steps back? So what tends to happen for me, and what I've realized, is when I've asked my spirit team or a spirit guide to step back, I really do feel a difference. And not to sound morbid or anything, but I feel when they're not right next to me or with me, I kind of feel empty and alone. And then once I ask them to step back in closer to me, I feel so much love. And I think the best word to describe the feeling is fullness. I actually feel my full self. I feel supported and loved and not alone. So you can do that. You try asking them to step in with you, and then ask them to step back, not to leave, but just to step back and then back in again. And then you start to get an understanding of how it changes your own energy. And then also you start to get an understanding of what their presence feels like, but also an understanding of what it feels like when they're not with you. So, I mean, they're always around, right? But how close they are. I found that really, really helpful. So something that you can also do is, once you start building a relationship with them, I wanted to know a name. obviously, like I said, it's not like super important, but I did. A few actually of the spirits on my spirit team have told me who they are and what their name is, and it's not something that I feel the need to share because it's a personal thing. But sometimes for me it's nice because then I can be intentional about who I want to work with, and obviously, as a collective they're my team, but sometimes, specific guides have specific expertise if I want to call upon them. So when it comes to, building a relationship with your spirit team, the most important thing is trust, knowing that they are with you. You call them in, they will come. Like, this is their purpose in your life. But if you really want to develop a relationship with them, it's about making space for them, whether that's every day, once a week, once a month, whatever you can do to, go out in nature or to sit with them in meditation and to, ask for their presence or ask for them to show you a sign of that they're with you. Something I also love is, automatic writing. I've done this and it's been so helpful. I've addressed a letter to one specific guide on my spirit team that I really needed guidance from at that point in my life, and I just utilized automatic writing, and the guidance flowed, and I'm in awe. Like, it was exactly what I needed, but I know it wasn't for me because it sounded so ancient and wise and used words that I had to Google to look up what they meant. So I know it wasn't my own vocabulary, if that makes sense. You can also ask them to visit you in a dream. Now, this would probably be happening a lot anyway, but it's probably not something that you remember. So, maybe set the intention that they come and visit you in a dream and that you remember what happened in the dream. That would probably be the more important part because they would be visiting you. But yeah, ask for signs and just be open to different ways of them communicating with you. That's the most important point, because everyone's going to have their own specific, own relationship with their spirit team and their own specific way that they want to communicate with you. So, give them the space to do that, and they will.